Lacrosse Canada is to lead, inspire, and grow the game of lacrosse. The way we're going to do that is by honoring the game and its origins, empowering its people, and elevating its place on the national and world stage. We envision a future where lacrosse thrives in every province and territory. It's accessible, it's inclusive, and it's celebrated from grassroots to high performance. Lacrosse Canada will serve as a unifying force, strengthening relationships with Indigenous communities, fostering respect for the game's heritage, and championing the highest standards in sport development, governance, and athlete experience. Through education, collaboration, innovation, and integrity, we aim to ensure that lacrosse remains a source of pride, opportunity, and connection for generations to come. Our vision here at Lacrosse Canada is to lead, inspire, and grow the game of lacrosse. The way we're going to do that is by honoring the game and its origins, empowering its people, and elevating its place on the national and world stage. We envision a future where lacrosse thrives in every province and territory. It's accessible, it's inclusive, and it's celebrated from grassroots to high performance. Lacrosse Canada will serve as a unifying force, strengthening relationships with Indigenous communities, fostering respect for the game's heritage, and championing the highest standards in sport development, governance, and athlete experience. Through education, collaboration, innovation, and integrity, we aim to ensure that lacrosse remains a source of pride, opportunity, and connection for generations to come.
And once again, we welcome you back to the Zatzman Sportsplex, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. This is the 2025 Lacrosse Canada Minor Box Nationals on Maritime Athletic Profiles. U15 gold medal game featuring Team British Columbia in the blue, Team Ontario in the red. As we say, good morning, everybody. Dan Hobson, it is Championship Friday. We're so used to saying Championship Sunday, but championships are going to be wrapped up here. Tournament play started on Monday, and we are down to these two teams for a national banner to go back to their respective province. U13 females, British Columbia won that one. Ontario and British Columbia do battle once again as balls dropped, and we are underway, and this is Lockwood with a quick off the draw and getting pressure down in Ontario's owner. Shot there that's wide. She gets her own rebound. She got lots of muster on that one, but lost the ball in the process, and it's a bouncing ball there for Chung. Manages to give Ontario some possession, and here they come, Allington. Allington runs right in to Chevalier. And back comes British Columbia. Down coast to coast, end to end there for Chevalier, but stopped there by Ontario. And here comes Ontario, led by May. Dent. May. Sends it down low into the corner. And both teams make some changes here. Just past 1 minute gone here in the first. Babick, couple of nice moves, dangles a shot, but it goes into the crease, so it's called, and it's Ontario ball. They'll start there. Schultz quickly up the center there. Fernandez turning on the Jets. Fernandez walks down Main Street, puts on the brakes. 18 to shoot. Fernandez once again back in towards the middle. Long possession here for her. Dumps it down. There's a try to get Greer in transition. Stevenson runs into a wall. Shot at 3, and that is stopped there by Biln. British Columbia on the drive again. A shot there by Hamaoka. And just like that, both teams will make changes. And we have our first penalty of the game as Fernandez is going to go off for interference. And British Columbia up a person here just past the 2.5 minute mark, so they'll start near center. This is Rope. Rope will bring it out. They'll keep it outside. Rope gets the return pass. Lockwood. Aragon. Lockwood. Perezin. There's a shot. And a nice little hit there along by Dent there to the British Columbia forward. Knocks that one as she tried to use the ricochet off the wall and tried to put it past an open cage, but unsuccessful. 11:48 left to go. Ontario here with a person down, but they're back here on the attack, and they'll start a little bit of a change. Team captain Lockwood gathers it up for British Columbia, so here they go. Just 1:09 left in the interference penalty. Here to Fernandez. Stone looking down, likes what she saw as it wasn't past her and in the net, so it's still no score. 50 seconds left in the interference penalty. Ontario play possession blown down, so it's going to be British Columbia ball. Johnstone. Hatursky, and a save there on the shot by Caitlin Stone. Well, Stone's looked pretty good so far. Just About 10 seconds left by the time Ontario gets it down here into the zone. And a good end-to-end here by Molly Howe. Ontario, as the penalty to Fernandez is over, so they are even strength. They've got 6 to shoot on the outside. Cutting towards the net there was Sony. And she stopped. So still no scores. We're coming up to the 5-minute mark here. Period number 1, no score in the gold medal game. U15 female between British Columbia and Ontario here on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Dan Hobson delighted here. Making my debut calling lacrosse. I have tons of broadcasting experience, but this is the first time calling this sport. So, but having fun so far here at the championships. There's a shot to stop there by Stone. She goes down to a knee, kicks that away. Stewart. Looking for the loose ball here for British Columbia and Ontario. Scoops it up near their own bench, and they get up to the center and bodied there just in front of the British Columbia bench. Aragon going to look for the lead pass up ahead as she tries to get up. Powell will start it here. Powell puts on the brakes, back out. Bresden. Aragon takes a bump, a shot there. Stone looks around, can't find it, but not in the goal. Caught up in her equipment, but makes the stop, and still waiting for our first one here in the gold medal game. 8:50 left to go. May. Allington. Difficulties with that one. Putos will go towards the corner. Putos. Ontario sort of changing a little bit. Here's the shot clock was winding down to 2 seconds when they fired that one. So it's shot clock violation. And now British Columbia just happy to roll it down and gather it up. And here they come. Kept to the outside. Johnston, nothing there. Hamioka. Babick gathers it up there. It's watched there by Howe. And Ontario, just like that, gathers it up, and they'll start 3 on this attack. Led by Schultz. Schultz to the outside has it. It was Chung that actually brought it up. She's got the return pass. This is Howe. Firing with 6 to shoot. She's a little bit gassed, so she'll go off for a change as both teams make changes. So we pass the halfway point of period number 1. Still no score. Pass a little air. Hope has to try to knock it down, but it's going to be right into the stick of Fernandez. It's going to be an advantage here for Ontario. They get it out to center, but no further. Ball in the middle of some sneakers and ankles there. The British Columbia player pushed down, so it gives them the advantage, and they try to get something going here, but they've turned it over just in front of the goal there of Caitlin Stone. And Ontario, just squeezing by a check there by Babick. Was Stevenson. But she lost the handle as she went in behind the goal. And just like that, Bresden will bring it up. Bresden. Lead pass. Tried to hit Aragon on the run, and she's a little bit too far out of her reach. May trying to spin away and does, so now she'll reverse sides with it, take it to the far side. Gets up center, trying to get a pass, but passing lane blocked there by Powell from Team British Columbia. Ontario once again, Hill. Got a little bit of some space, some separation. Shot! And a stop there by Biln. Bjorn looking pretty good. That's probably her hardest test of the afternoon so far, or this morning. A shot stopped by Stone once again. She doesn't know where it is. It's caught up in her paraphernalia, if you want to say that. Howe. Bodied there by Petersky. Petersky coming back to give a little bit of support. There was Patton here for Ontario. Laval. Laval with the clock at 3. Gonna have to hurry, get the shot as it goes. It hits a bunch of ankles, so it's going to be British Columbia ball there on the 30-second violation. And both teams make changes as Rope will gather it up. Lockwood. There's a shot, and I'm not sure if Stone saw it as Rennie that got that from well out. Rope. As it's a loose ball bouncing around, and it's finally stopped down by Perez in there. British Columbia. There's a toe save there by Stone as she kicks it towards the corner. And a new 30 for British Columbia. Babick. Shot, and a stick save there by Stone. Clean shooting lane, easy for Stone to see that one. Once again, a new 30, shot scores! Top shelf. Frankie Hoy. Makes it 1-0. One of those ones where it was like second or third chance opportunities for British Columbia. They were getting a lot of them so far, and Aragon was trying to do it there from the floor of the Zatzman Sportsplex, try to get a shot and can't. 3:15 left to go in the first period. Looked like the ball was going to bounce into the penalty box area, but it stays in place, so we continue on. Chevalier back out. Powell. Shot scores! Quick strikes. Sophie Powell, 2-0. Almost similar to the way the U13 game went. Quick strikes by British Columbia, and they've got a 2-goal lead. 2-0, Team British Columbia. Ontario called for the foul, so just like that, British Columbia coming on the drive again. Ontario gathers it up. Got a turnover right into the corner, and British Columbia once again has it. Petersky. Babick. Lost it. Laval gathers it up. Laval. A little bit of pressure there from Johnston. Allington. Cochran back out. Howe. Lots of time to shoot here. Howe going in. Howe, and a toe save by Milne towards the corner. Fresh 30 for Team Ontario, looking to try to get a goal here to cut the margin to 1 and cut the deficit to half. Chung to the outside, 17 to shoot. Try to bring it down low. Sent back out the shot there. Bill makes the stop on that one on that low shot. She kicked it out. Pressure by Ontario, but nothing really much dangerous. And British Columbia here on the drive once again. Rennie has difficulty handling that pass, and Ontario gathers it up. Lewis with some speed. Lewis back down into British Columbia zone, trying to spin away from Ashley Rope. Lewis. Oh, a big play there as Rope was trying to come up with the big hit and came up empty and goes down hard here on the Zatzman Sportsplex. At a goal crease infraction there, Ontario. British Columbia, back they come. And they've got some numbers and they've got advantage. Aragon! Stone with the stop. Shot there by Stewart. As Stone once again stops it, and she's been having difficulties keeping the ball. Because what I mean by that is it's been caught up in her equipment. And that was the case in point. Third time that's happened in the game, but it keeps it a 2-goal deficit for Ontario as they get up to center just outside the scorekeeper's penalty box area. Plays blown down. And the period comes to an end. But when we come back for the second period, Ontario is going to have their first woman advantage as the clock was going down. And so just like that, the teams will just gather along the boards and talk to their respective coaches before just a 2-minute intermission, just sort of like what they do for U15 hockey, and sort of like Ice Jam, have a 2-minute intermission and then start the second period. So, and unlike the U13, we have 3 officials here in charge of the championship game. But Hoy and Powell with quick strikes for British Columbia have them up 2-0 after the opening 15. Bill looks pretty good, and Stone's been tested more, and she's looked pretty stellar. So you have to think of some of the saves that she's made. This game could be a little bit higher in terms of what it could have been. Instead of being 2-0, it could be even a little bit worse there for Team Ontario. But she has looked good here between the pipes here for Team Ontario. And as I said, Bill definitely not tested a lot there, but has come up big when called upon here for British Columbia. Definitely want to keep hydrated. One of these things about ice rinks is that they are cold in the wintertime, and then in the summertime they are hot. And when you have a heat wave, the humidity just seems to stick around. Hard to get out of there. The humidity has broke here in Nova Scotia here today. So we have some cooler temperatures, but this is what the players have sort of been playing in, with sort of this muggy heat throughout the week. And so definitely conditioning a factor when you get here to Championship Friday. So Sophie Powell's got a goal and got a penalty, so the Gordie Howe hat trick at hockey is, of course, you get a goal, get an assist, get a fight. Not sure what it is in lacrosse. She's got a goal, she's got a penalty. British Columbia looking here. This is the first time that they're shorthanded as they make some noise here at the Zatzman Sportsplex as period number 2 is underway. A 5-on-4 here. And a golden opportunity for Ontario here to try to cut this deficit. But Stewart's got to kill some precious time as she's not only double team but triple team along that far side. Just managing to at least kill some seconds. 15 seconds she killed there, winning it off the draw. And she hears some applause here from the BC faithful. In the meantime, Howe, 20 to shoot. Howe, a shot, doesn't get a lot on it. It bounced there as she lost the handle before she got the shot. 1 minute, 25 seconds left in the Powell penalty. Back. And, it's a big steal. Back comes Stewart. Stewart going in. Stewart! Stopped by Stone. Great shift here for for Alina Stewart here for British Columbia. Killed 15 seconds alone and then had that breakaway pretty much from center. And Stone shut the door again. 50 seconds left in the Powell penalty. Ontario trying to get organized. Putos. Patton. Back outside. Hill. Hill will have to play it off the boards with 6 to shoot. Hill fires a shot. It was along the floor there of the Zatzman Sportsplex. Ontario gathers it in a new 30. Hard pass the handle there for Patton, but does. Hill a shot. And the stop there by Biln. Gathered up. Schultz. Another 30 here. Ontario with some pressure, some sustained pressure, some second or third chance opportunities. Biln with the stop as she goes down. One knee to make that stop. 6 seconds left to the Powell penalty. She's ready, standing up, and about to join. And Ontario's going to be taking a penalty. It's a cross-checking penalty. Other than that, it would have been off to the races for British Columbia. So there's smart penalties and dumb penalties. That's a smart one. But the timing couldn't have been any worse for Ontario. Hey, Schultz there with the cross check, so she'll go to the box for 2 or less, or for 2. And for British Columbia, had that penalty to kill early in the period. Now they're on the PP here. Berezin gets the return pass. A little bit of a two-person game between that and team captain Lockwood. Berezin. Powell. Powell's going to fire a shot, and Stone gets a piece of it as the clock was winding down. Chung. Play back underway, British Columbia. Aragon and the stop by Stone. Ball gathered up. And here comes Team Ontario, led by Marley Chung. Chung gets across center and down into British Columbia zone, 15 to shoot. Trying to spit away from Captain Lockwood. Shot there, Fernandez. Stopped by Biln. 4 minutes gone, and a crease violation there for Ontario. And British Columbia quickly up the floor and in towards the corner. Babick. Oh, tried to thread the needle, and Stone with the stop on the shot there by Hamilton. Babick with the nice little feathered pass. Stone well out of the net. Ball gathered up. British Columbia. Back to the outside. Petersky. Shot, scores! Kennedy doused. 3-0. You get a chance to see it at home here on the replay. And there's nothing really Stone could do on that, as Doust got all of that one, fired that one, make it 3-0. And once again, British Columbia with some pressure again. Doust, who just got the goal. Aragon. Not sure if Stone got a piece of that, but the clock's been reset, so a new 30 here for British Columbia. Another shot, scores! Powell with her second. 2 for Powell, 4 overall here for British Columbia. And that's the margin that they lead by, 4-0. doused. Hoy and Powell with 2. That coming right around the 6-minute mark here of this one. So Babbitt, what a clean win that was. Babbitt and Johnstone might have had their numbers crossed as there was 2 players right in the vicinity of that. She's going to have to hurry so she doesn't get the back over violation. Does manage there to just keep it alive. Going to be Ontario ball with 8:24 left as they come up center. Putos. Ontario, they need some goals and they need them quickly, but this is lacrosse. That could happen. Hill! And that goes out of play. So that hits the netting. BC ball, and they come up center. Palmer. Up for grabs. Fernandez. Watched by rope. Fernandez. Harrison forcing the issue there for British Columbia as they go back out. Schultz. Lavelle. Was a shooting lane. It disappeared. Lavelle. Not quite the numbers. And a steal here by Lockwood. Lockwood with a partial breakaway. Lockwood has Powell. Lockwood! And Stone has it. Caught up in the legs again. But it keeps it 4-0. Got lots of time there for Ontario to make some dent here in this 4-goal deficit, but that's stopped by Stone, helping that process out. Howe. Pass to nobody in particular. Stevenson. Allington with 1 to shoot. Shot for well out. Misses. 30-second violation. British Columbia ball. The purple shoes of Hamioka. She gets up the center. And spins away from Chung. 1-on-1. Chung with a little bit of a stick there on the shoulders to Hamioka. Quickly in, Babbitt, difficulty handling that one, so it's Greer that gathers it up for Team Ontario. Play blown down, and both teams use this opportunity to make changes with 6:09 and counting left. And a penalty here to British Columbia, so this is a gorgeous opportunity for Team Ontario. Down. So here is Ontario. As I said, they have got a lot of work cut out for them. Trailing by 4. They had 5 up on the board momentarily. Look at how we score sheet. Like they made that change, so it's like I said, 4-0 lead. That actually goes out of play, so it will be BC ball. 5:16 left to go. Frankie Hoy, who got the first goal here for British Columbia, down on the run here. As she goes in behind the goal. Takes a little bit of a bump there from Fernandez. 15 on the clock. Hoy continues to have it. Hoy spins it down low. She's at the end of a shift. Powell comes on, replaces her. British Columbia in the midst of a change. And Ontario, they're going to start a change as well as they get up center. Putos has it. She's fresh off the bench. Gathers it up. 4.5 left here to the intermission. Hill. Putos. Hill. Patton. 2 to shoot. They'll have to put it up. Had the shot there. Bill makes the stop. It was pretty much right in the midsection. Ontario with the steal is an open lane. Ontario going in. There's a shot. And a good point-blank range there for Patton. The best opportunity. But it stays out of the net, and it's still 4-0. 3.5 left. Penalty here to British Columbia is over. Babick was in the box. So Ontario couldn't capitalize on the chance. Patton adjusts the net a bit. Babick with the shot. Stone with the stop. Aragon. Right into the feet there of Sonny. And Ontario makes change. Chung with 16 to shoot. Howe down low. Right in front of the net. Bouncing ball up for grabs, and Milton was thinking about coming out, but it's actually gathered up by British Columbia, so that notifies that opportunity. Chevalier! And a shoulder save there by Stone. And a new clock here for British Columbia, and they'll start a partial change. Rope. Shot high. Scooped up there by Chung here for Ontario. And she'll go in behind her goal, and a partial change started here. Allington. There's a shot, and Bilden makes the stop again. Ontario's had a couple of point-blank shots, but Bilden has shut the door. Keeping it a 4-0 game. Coming up to 2 to go to the intermission as Hamilton puts on the brakes. Hamilton swings it over. Rennie down low. Over. Babick, a shot that was high. Missed the goal. It just went over the crossbar by about less than a foot. Shot scores! Sydney Hamilton. Probably not the way she drew it up. Makes it 5-0. 100 seconds left here to the end of the second period. Sydney Hamilton. Doust and Dent on the face-off near center. Hill. Ontario would love to get something here towards this late stages. 1 minute to go in the second period. And Aragon back out. Here's Powell. She's got 2. Does she have 3? No! Shoulder save by Stone. Powell has difficulty. That pass had a lot on it. And Ontario regathers it up. And they'll cross center and back down into the British Columbia zone, and an end-to-end rush. A shot that's high. Halford with an opportunity there. That was Allington, my apologies. Perez in. Ball on the floor of the Zatzman Sportsplex. Swings it over. Hoy. Down. Poturski. As the horn goes to end the second period. And it's been all British Columbia after the opening 30. 2 by Powell, 1 by Hamilton, Doust, and Hoy. 5-0 after 30 minutes of play here in the gold medal game, the U15 Lacrosse Canada Minor Box Nationals on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Dan Hobson along for the call here in this one. Making my lacrosse calling debut here today. So hope you're enjoying the action wherever you're watching. A special hello to our viewers in Ontario and British Columbia. British Columbia U13 females have a gold medal. And British Columbia's U15 15 minutes away from getting their second gold medal here, as they are up by 5. So, and this is the thing with lacrosse, of course, you've always know that there's usually high offense in this sport. A 5-0 lead is really not a big deal. Of course, of those who've watched Maritime Athletic Profiles lacrosse coverage over the summertime, there was, in that league, there was actually a 4-goal lead, and it got wiped out pretty early between St. John and Sackville. I was watching that game just over the weekend, just before these Nationals kicked off. The visiting team from St. John had a 4-goal lead, and then the home team struck quickly, 4 goals within a quick span. So it's not over yet, but Ontario's going to have to probably strike early here in the third to try to give themselves a chance. It's a running clock, so that also makes it a little bit harder because you don't get a chance to really stop and, maybe set things up on if the clock's non-stop. So when the clock non-stops, all of a sudden it really literally is 15 minutes. So it makes for a little bit difficulty to try to, I guess, get back in it. But as I said, with this sport, anything is possible. But really important here for Ontario to try to strike early. Stones look pretty good. She's had to make the tougher of the stops, and one of the things that Ontario hasn't really got is a good point-blank shot at build. She's had to make saves, but not really on the, I guess you could say, the dangerous side of things. So as they're set to face it off here for the third period. Penalty coming up here as Howe cross-checked Rope. And she knew it too. Play was blown down, and then she took 2 steps toward the box, so she knew it. So things have gotten even more difficult here for Team Ontario. Down by 5, and now they're going to be down a person. Lockwood gets the return pass, a shot. Stone stops that with her pads and sort of settles down the loose ball there for Lewis and Team Ontario. Lewis going end to end. Bouncing puck in towards the crease. It's Biln that gathers it up. Babick, as British Columbia gets organized. Paterski. Johnston. Paterski. Johnson had lost it before she could get the shot, so we're right into Team Ontario. It was gathered up by Dent, but having difficulty getting out of her own zone, and just like that, Babick with the steal for British Columbia. Back out, Johnston, 26. Lots of time to shoot for them. Johnston, Pasterski exchanging. Johnson, Paterski. Shot, and Stone makes a stop. Goes down one knee with that. Caught it with her stick and just hands it off. 30 seconds left, as both teams will make some changes with 12:54 left. 12:43 left to go here in this third period. And Ontario. Laval. Cross center and down. Penalty. Over. Howe checks back in. She goes right towards the attack here for Ontario. Shot clock 18. Ball outside. And scooped up by Babbitt. She's had this ball a lot here in this championship game. Resden. As British Columbia on the outside. Aragon. Powell got two. She also had a breakaway chance of Powell there. She fired that one from well out and got lots on it. Ball's going to go back down. See if this is a back over violation. Yes, it is. So it's going to be an Ontario ball. Follow the bouncing ball was Fernandez. We'll gather it up towards center to start this possession for Ontario. Swings it back out. May. Schultz. Or pardon me, that was Sonny. Bouncing ball. Gathered up by British Columbia. Aragon. Quickly up, John Stone. John Stone! And the stop by Stone. John Stone, stop by Stone. 10:50 left to go. Lewis. Swings it here to the near side. Stevenson. Stevenson! And Bill gets a piece. Lewis goes off for a change and hopping back on Allington. Hill trying to spin away. Will bring it back out. Allington, 17 to shoot. Quick pass inside on the run. Chung gets a little separation. Stevenson. Allington. Building with the stop, and it's gathered up in the crease by British Columbia. And here they come. Hamioka. Cross center. A person has lost her sneaker in the process near center. Gathered up by the officials. Play continues on. 13 to shoot. Thrown back. The shoes thrown back into Team Ontario if you really care, but most importantly, it's Ontario ball. 9:34 and counting left. And Rope going down. Rope has a breakaway shot. Scores! Ashley Rope. .49 and counting. For British Columbia, you know that it's just for them. They'd like to kill some clock here. Ontario, I'd like to add some time to the clock and try to get something offensively. But the British Columbia defense, not really much in terms of shooting lanes for them. And just like that, on Lewis, hit by British Columbia, goes down to the floor. And sometimes when you have humidity in a building like this, we've seen that sometimes that this floor could be a little bit of a wet surface, but seems to be okay for playing here the Gold Medal Friday here at the Lacrosse Canada Minor Box Nationals. Because the last thing you need is somebody just slipping and hurting an ankle, as May has it here along the near side. May looking for help. Allington. Allington tried to go down Main Street, trying to spin away. Shot clock was down to 8 when she fired that one, and that's off the mark. They'll have to shoot. 3 to shoot. A good chance there for Arlington with 1 to shoot, but it's wide, so she's going to call for the violation, and both teams make changes here. 7:09 left. Past the halfway point of the third period. Referee's using this stoppage here to go over to the penalty box area. Play blown back in. And we're back. 7 to go as Hoy run out of real estate, but still manages to escape and get it over to the near side here to Johnston. Stewart. Johnston had to jump up to catch that pass. She'll back out. 10 to shoot. Posterski. And that's stopped by Stone. 1 and done. Ontario on the march, trailing by 6. Abby Greer loses it. Babbitt right there on the double team. Gathers it for British Columbia at the blue. Ella Hamioka had difficulty handling that pass, so Stevenson retreats it, but Stevenson just loses it to Hamioka just as quickly as that New York minute. Fulmer. Lockwood. Hamioka. Babbitt. Bouncing ball, 50-50 ball up for grabs. Ontario has it. And up they come near center. Lewis. Nice footwork to get away. Lewis. Patton. Sends it down, bouncing there, and actually hit a shin guard. Bill had to be a little bit careful with that one. Down by her feet. 5:36 left. Turnover shot. Bill with the stop. Might have got a little bit of the post as well, but Bill has looked, even though she has been the less tested of the two goaltenders, been solid when needed to be called upon. But some of the shots here for Ontario, this is their best sustained pressure and best shots that they're getting at Bill there, as that's fired wide. Ball will be gathered up by Aragon. And now she turns on the Jets. Aragon hits center. Aragon, middle. Quick pass, Hamilton. And that was right there. Easy stop by Stone. Steele. Powell got 2. Powell bodied there. Forced along the boards there by Howe. Howe gives her extra shot. Powell looking for the penalty and might have actually got it. Yeah, Powell was saying, what's with the extra shot? And turned around and looked, and the referees were right there, so Howe was going to go to the box. As the frustration starting to set in here. 4 minutes, 35 seconds left, trailing by 6. I said anything could happen in this sport, but I think that definitely a 6-goal lead is really tough here for Ontario to try to get back, especially with 4:35 left. But reminder that we will go back down to floor level. You know, you're in this building and you're so used to saying ice level, but, you know, it's no ice in the building, so we'll go down to floor level for the presentation of the banner, as well as the chance to talk to Team British Columbia, get their thoughts on the championship. So we'll ask you to stick around for that, especially those who have gotten up early here for Oat in British Columbia. And you should be really proud of your girls here. They've got one gold medal thanks to the U13, and they're looking for another one. Here's Stevenson. They're going to call it for 4, so that really hurts. A double minor. So pretty much for the remainder of this game, Ontario's got to be shorthanded if there is an ability, but there's a cross-check called against British Columbia here. So this will even it up, as Hoy will go to the box off for cross-check. So if there's any good news for Team Ontario, we're now four attackers aside, 4 runners aside, whichever term you want to use. But Schultz. Putos. Ontario, that's difficult pass there for Stevenson. Aragon is gone. Aragon. 3:17. Doust blows a tire. Ontario, back up they come. Patton scores! Ella Patton, but probably a little too late, but Ontario on the board. They break the no-no bid, the shutout bid of Biln, and didn't want to give the jinx on it, so I didn't say anything, but it's 6-1, 2:51 left. Scrambled off the face. Posterski. Osterski. Johnston. Osterski loses the handle. Lewis. Hacked before she could get a shot. As Babbitt went down, gathers it up. Goes down near center. Have a little keep away and goes off for a change. Lockwood, 2:09 left to go. The captain going to slow it down. Goes for a little bit of a walk on a Friday in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Has it again. Hamilton. Be Ontario ball with about 100 seconds left. By the time they gather up, it's Chung. Oh, they tried to do the give and go. Allington was running towards the net. Didn't get a lot on it, but also knew that the crease was also coming into play there for her. 1:27 left to go. And now Ontario, of course, is a person down. 40 seconds left, 1:18 left in the game. Both teams make some changes. 1:09, Stewart Stewart has it. Under a minute to go. Aragon with that shot there. 48 seconds and change. Things starting to get a little bit of a buzz there on that British Columbia bench, as well as the British Columbia fans in attendance here at Zatzman Sportsplex. 35 seconds. It's been all them. Powell, who's had 2 goals in this one. Aragon, who's had a chance here in this one. 24 seconds as British Columbia now starting to make some noise. They got 9 to shoot, but you could hear them make the noise. Let them take it, count it down for you here. British Columbia, U15 gold medal champions. A 6-1 win. So British Columbia having themselves a day. U13 gold female, U15 female gold. And they ain't done yet because they were going to be U15 co-ed. And they're also in the U22, so 2 for 2 is British Columbia here today at the championships. So as the teams make some handshakes, we're going to basically take a little bit of a break, and we're going to go down to floor level there for the championship ceremonies. And to wrap things up here in this U15 gold medal game, British Columbia with a 6-1 win over Team Ontario. Back in just a couple of seconds here on Maritime Athletic Profiles.
One, two, testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2. All right.
MVP for Team British Columbia, number 33. Team Ontario. I would like to welcome the head coach, Team Ontario. Number 5, Nora Alford. Number 6, Nala Hill. Number 7, Violet Schultz. Number 8, Isla Lavelle. Number 9, Alpha Allington. Number 11, Iona Sone. Number 13, Adeline Putos. Number 14, Lila Cochran. Number 17, Kathleen Stone. Captain and number 19, Molly Howe. Number 20, Darren Dent. Number 21, Addie Greer. Number 22, Maya Lewis. Number 24, Maya Hernandez. Number 25, Scarlett Stevenson. Number 26, Avery May. Number 27, Ella Patton. Number 77, Marley John. Number 66, Taylor Sheffield. And leads in that class, 00, Mika Watson. I would like to welcome the head coach of Team British Columbia. And I would like to congratulate our gold medalists, Team British Columbia. I will call number 2, Kennedy Diaz. Number 3, Emily Harrigan. Number 7, Sienna Baldwin. Number 8, Ella Amayoga. Number 9, Isabella Thurston. Number 11, Frankie Boyd. Number 12, Riley Harrison. Number 13, Sophia Latter. Number 14, Cindy Hamilton. Number 15, Elena Stewart. Number 16, Ashley Rowe. Number 17, Charlie Redmond. Number 18, Isla Lockwood. Number 20, Alex Chevalier. Number 22, Karis Fulmer. Number 29, Kayla Johnston. Number 33, and goalie, Brendan Hill. Number 35, and goalie, Charlotte. Number 44, Sophie Hubbell. I would like now to invite the staff, trainers, and coaches. Congratulations again to Team British Columbia. Now I would like to invite the representative of Lacrosse Canada to present the banner to the winning team, Team British Columbia, Mr. Tom.
Thank you, Steph. Just coming on there, easy. I just wanted to congratulate Ontario for a wonderful tournament and a great show. Great show for us. Well done. The clock out there tells us before how much time we have before the next meeting, so I'm going to get you the banner here in a minute and react to this. This is a big accomplishment for you. I don't want to hold that in. Please take pictures of the time I gave the banner. This is the banner that represents the national championship from the female lacrosse making trophy. We're going to have you guys assistance on the whole piece.
Well done, Team BC. Please take a picture. And we have 5 minutes for parents if you want to come down and take pictures of your team.
Testing. tested.
Test.
We're gonna go the other side. Why? Because there's no. We're gonna see more what's going on. Yeah, true. That's where all the voices are. I wouldn't be talking to you if I was.
Probably want to take him off a bridge until he's found something.
Right here. Doing the interview, right? What's that?
Go.
Well, she had her 2-goal performance. Sophie Powell assisted.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Yeah.
Well, we're back here at Zatzman Sportsplex here at Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. The U15 female championship won by Team British Columbia. She had 2 goals in this. This is Sophie Powell. What's going through your mind? Congratulations.
I'm just super happy for the team. We all worked super hard for this, and it's really good that it all paid off.
All right, you had a 2-goal performance. Take us through your first goal. Tell us about the play, what you saw.
Yeah, I got a pass. I think it was from Kennedy Deuce. She sent it to me. She came inside a seal. I came around it, and then it went in.
All right, now also talk about that second one there.
Second one, can't remember exactly what happened. I think I got it sent from Everly Aragon. She sent it to me on the left side. I stepped around and went in.
Now, you were one of the 3, of course, captains, assistant captain, that went towards getting the banner when you were walking with your teammates. What was going through your mind at that time?
Yeah, I was just super happy for everybody. Everybody worked really hard, and it's just good that all the hard work paid off.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what got you into the sport of lacrosse.
I started playing when I was 5. My parents just put me in it, and then I just really started to like it, and that's kind of it.
So what do you want to do in the future in this sport?
I really want to play field lacrosse at college somewhere. That'd be my biggest goal.
All right, you had a 2-goal performance. Congratulations, national champion. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Sophie Powell, 2-goal performance here. Team British Columbia in the U15 females with an easy victory over Ontario. So for the entire Maritime Athletic Profiles crew, my name's Dan Hobson. Thank you for tuning in, and so long from Dart.